when we say shut your mouth, it's something that's being said because we know how women are today. Today it's hard to get a woman who's going to be able to just do things that need to be done. Most of them, when you tell them to do something, they snap at you, man. Right. They're going to come back at you and they're going to tell you something that you don't want to hear.
That's right.
And so, like I said, speaking about that, you know what I'm saying? Nowadays, they think that a strong woman is a woman that talks back to you, but a strong woman is a woman that can keep her mouth shut.
That's right. That's a strong woman. It takes a lot.
Exactly.
It takes a lot. You know what? I think even for the men, it's the same thing. You know, before you come in the truth, you have an answer for everything.
Right, and right.
Men as well as women need to shut their mouth and listen. Before you can put on, you know, the shield of the Lord and come out here and do the work, you first gotta, you know what? It's very simple. When you go to the army, you gotta leave your old self behind.
Right.
You've gotta completely change yourself and become somebody that you know, that you wouldn't in the world. Like in the world, you wouldn't let a white man come and get in your face and tell you, you know, what to do. You're in the army. You know what that was like. You were in the Marines.
Right.
You know, they're going to come and they're going to humiliate you.
It's lucky, if I may add, it takes a lot to hold your peace.
Right.
It takes a lot for a man to hold his peace.
Right.
And
right.
When I was in the Marines, it took a lot for me to hold my peace.
Right.
You know, I wanted to change the whole Marine Corps structure.
Damn right.
I wanted to just put my 2 cents in and 2 bids in.
Right.
But I had to follow orders.
And so in this truth, it's the same thing. You have to understand that when you come into this truth, you better get ready to leave your old self behind. Leave your mouth behind. Leave that spirit you used to have behind. Leave the weed. Leave the hose. Leave all that you used to know. It's time to leave it behind. And it's time to become a new man. And the man and woman you're about to become is one that serves the Lord. Man, we ain't here to implement our own rules. We're here to implement a rule that's going to keep us correct. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't smoke. You can't smoke. You can't talk back. You can't talk back. You got to follow orders. You got to follow orders. Women ain't the only ones who got to shut their mouth. Men got to learn to do the same damn thing. That's right. You know, and follow what needs to be done. We're here to bring our people to the knowledge of the Lord, salvation. And in order to do that, you have to first save yourself. And what are you going to save yourself from? Your old self. And that's why Esther is a perfect example for women of how we should be. Esther, man, she was in line. She knew she had to serve the Lord, and she was doing, you know what? What did she say? I wear my clothes, these royalty clothes, but I hate wearing this royalty clothes. I dress the way I dress, but when I'm dressed like this, I hate the way I'm dressed. I hate the way I look. I hate serving this king. You know, she wanted to serve her people. But why? Because she understood that she's going to serve the Lord with everything that she had. Mind, body, and spirit. All in one. Go ahead.
It's like, if I may, Esther had the spirit of the Most High. She
That's
had the
right.
spirit with her because she was able to follow these orders. The Most High saw that she was going to listen to Mordecai to the letter, man. And in the ISUPK, that's what we do with our orders, even on the male side. In the ISUPK, we follow the order to the letter. We get the orders from the higher ranking man to the higher ranking man on the way down.
Right.
You know, and that's where you get the spirit of the Lord from. You have to be willing. You have to hold your peace.
That's right.
You know, and keep your mouth shut and follow those orders, man. Because in the long run, you're probably saving your own self.
That's right. Go ahead, check.
So I got a precept.
Go ahead with that precept.
First Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober. It's like from the top.
Go ahead from the top.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, as obedient children, not fashioning yourself according to the former lusts in your ignorance.
Right. Not according to the former lust of your ignorance, because before you came into this truth, you were ignorant. You had no idea. You thought you were some Christian. You thought you were some Catholic. You thought you were doing the right thing until this truth faces you. And then you understand that everything you knew was just ignorance. Go ahead.
Right. I was going to say, the part where it says, as obedient children, it goes into what y'all were saying about how, how we all have to be as children coming in here. Even though we all have we have a smart answer for any question that comes up to us, but we got to be as children, What do children do? They're relearning everything, or they're learning for the first time everything.
Right.
It's lucky. A child will follow orders. The child will follow your orders to the T. You tell that child what to do, them child will handle it and come back with a good report and let you know what they did. And also, battling yourself, you had to battle that old man, that old woman. You battle your old self on a daily basis. That's what we do here. We fight ourselves on a daily basis because that was our old selves. We don't want to have nothing to do with our old self.
Right.
So part of that is taking those orders, man. Being silent.
Salaki, I got a better one. It's in the book of Matthew, the 18th chapter. Can I go ahead?
Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 3. And said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
So see, unless we be converted, we will not enter into the kingdom of heaven. So what is that? That means we got to change ourselves. We got to get ready to take orders, man. We are not used to taking orders. You know why? Because we've become a nation of spoiled children. We became a nation where we can't even let our parents tell us anything. Man, a lot of us have kids. And our kids, you tell them something, they right away, they come at you, man. You know what I mean? So we have to start to learn to first put ourselves in the place. Because you know what? A lot of parents are good to snap at their kids and say, man, you ain't listening to me. But you know where they're getting that from? They're getting that from us. Because we grew up that way. Anybody who grew up in the 80s and in the 90s and in the 2000s, man, we've become spoiled children, man. We've become people who no longer know how to take advice or take how do you say that, orders, or put ourselves straight, because now it's just become something completely different. Go ahead.
Exactly. Suggestions and different things. We don't want to do that. You have to unlearn what you learned, especially if you came out that Christian church.
Damn right.
I came out that Christian church, man. I had to unlearn the things that I learned. I thought Thanksgiving was okay, going in and diss my Native American brothers. Really, I didn't know that they were slaughtered like that at the time. But when I got here in ISUPK, they bring out the fact that they were slaughtered. And a lot of Native Indians, the Native Indian tribes, they actually wear the turkey feathers on their headdresses.
Right.
Turkey feathers, man. Think about it. The white man, he makes sure he eat a big turkey at that meal. And then that cranberry juice, that's their symbolization of the blood of the Native Indians.
Right.
And so those things we have to unlearn,
Right.
So this is what we do here.
That's right. And talking about that, how we gotta unlearn to do that. I'm gonna break something down real quick that Chaazaq just mentioned. He said something about the turkey and how we gotta unlearn that. It's real simple, man. Like the lies that have been taught to America is what us as parents are passing down to our children. The Santa Claus isn't the lie. The lie is that you tell that to your kids.
Right.
That's where the lie begins, where you've actually helped by telling them about Santa Claus and about Thanksgiving, and you're celebrating is actually implementing a lie. You know what I'm saying? You're helping to perpetuate this lie to your next generation. And that's why it's important to understand that who's going to stop the lie? We're going to break the chain of lies. You know what I'm saying? The turkey was a symbol for the Mayans, the Toltecs, the Aztecs, all these civilizations. This bird was a bird of sacrifice, of a special day for their high holy days. They used to use this bird only for those days. They used to use it as a celebration. They used to make mole from it, which was an important cuisine. We're going to call it cuisine, but a food that we understand, right? For our ancestors. Unfortunately, the Native American Indian, in their ignorance, did the same thing and honored the white man at their table with this turkey. So we hear in the history, not knowing that they were giving a bird of high holy day celebration to this white man, a bird that was not meant for him. This was our sacred bird. This bird is the turkey is a bird that comes from ancient time. You know, a lot of the ancient Aztec walls and the Mayan walls depict this bird as a bird of a celebration for high holy days. And we've taken it and ignorantly gave it to the white man. And now we follow his celebration and we give our honor to him and we give all our feast days to him. Just the way in the high holy day of the Passover, we've actually gave our sacred holiday, the most high sacred holiday, and we've given it to the goddamn white man. And what he's done is made eggs and Easter bunnies and all this nonsense. And now we've taken a sacred celebration that the Lord has gave us from the beginning, and we've given it in the hands of our enemy. And that enemy has taken it and made a mockery of it. Chickens don't lay, bunnies don't lay eggs. You know what I'm saying? And yet we follow this tradition that has now become the norm for us, not understanding that these traditions come from a long time ago. Way before the conquest of our people, these celebrations were already with us. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, I'm gonna add to what you were saying in the beginning about lying to kids. You know, they were lying to kids about Christmas, about these gifts and everything. You know, that's teaching the kids, you know, that the white man gives gifts. Right. You know, respect that white man. He's gonna give you a gift. Big old fat white man child molester is gonna give you a gift when he comes down your chimney.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And that just how you say it furthers the white supremacy cause. It furthers that, you know, that white privilege. It furthers that, and it ingrains it in the kids at a very early stage, man. And they call it the formative years. The formative years of a child. You know, you saying Santa Claus, you know, you better be a good boy. You better be good. But what good did the white man give you? Right. What good did he? What did he bring? What did he bring here that was good? Slaughtered everybody. You know, slaughtered, kept broken peace treaties with the Native Indians, man. You know, bloodshed. What is that? Habakkuk 2:12.
Habakkuk 2:12.
Habakkuk 2:12. You know, and the scripture speaks of the deeds of a wicked man. Right. You know, just like Job 9:24 does. You know, and these are the things that we perpetuate throughout the generations of our families, and it's wrong. It's a lie. It's just like, you know, the things that happen, you know, through propaganda. That's like the propaganda in ancient Germany, right? You know, with Hitler and all. He gave out propaganda tapes and different things, you know, and those things are, you know, it's just straight wrong. You're rearing a child in falsehoods and lies. You know, think about it as an adult. Would you like to be lied to? Would you like someone to lie to you? And you depending on that lie? You got it? Right. Scripture? Go ahead, read.
Habakkuk 2:12. Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood.
Woe to him that buildeth the town with blood. We all know that America is built on blood and tears and sweat and slavery of the black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indian. Continue reading.
And establisheth a city by iniquity.
And established all these cities, New York, LA, Texas, all these with iniquity, under the blood and the killing and the murdering of the black and the Hispanic and the Native American Indian. You know, we know that all the Southwest, Texas and Arizona, man, our people were hung. Mexicans were murdered in order to take this land from them. Continue reading.
Verse 13. Behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire.
You know, we labor in the fire because you go to work for a corporation that keeps you at bay. You ain't getting any richer. Everybody else is getting richer, but you're barely paying your bills, barely getting through this, man. And we got a slave. Continue reading.
And the people shall worry themselves for very vanity.
You know, and now we worry ourselves for vanity. Perfect example. Mayweather worries himself with vanity, man. You know what I'm saying? He's over here pushing all this, not giving a damn about blacks or Hispanics, man. His own people. Let me just go for the blacks. His own people, because of his vanity, you know, to him, everything else is the same. What's that other comedian's name? The black comedian? Steve Harvey, man. Perfect example. Steve Harvey. What he says, this is the money game. He says this isn't a game. This isn't the game for family or for blacks or for people. This is the money. He told that other comedian woman that this is the money game. You know what I'm saying? This is a money game. This is where it's really at. Continue reading. That's it. We gotta understand, man, that today, you know, for all these movie stars and singers, it's a money game, man. That's all it is. They don't care about blacks. They don't care about the struggle. They don't care about their brothers being shot in the street. Today, it's only about what? It's only about the money game.
And Salaki, if I may, you know, even your black leaders, they can't show up unless they get paid.
Right.
They won't show up and talk to us unless they get paid.
Damn
you
right.
know? And then you got that Hamite, Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela came to Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
And he said that he's only here for the cause of his people.
Right.
He didn't give a damn that he was smack dab in the hood.
Right.
He was in the hood in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And he said, I'm here for my people in South Africa.
Right.
You know,
right.
Damn the so-called quote-unquote African-American right. or the Judite.
Right.
Damn that. He might as well have said that. He was there for that purpose. And I guarantee you he got a paycheck. He was on the payroll.
Damn
Just
right.
like Jesse Jackson and Creflo Dollar, you know,
right.
like Eddie Long and TD's Fakes, TD Jakes or whatever.
Right.
You know, all those different pastors, man. And you know, their leaders, you know, they have to get paid in order to show up. Right. Their God is money. That's who their God is. We follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the Most High said, you are not supposed to have any other gods before me.
Right.
That's in the commandment. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. You know, and yet we deal with these leaders that have led us astray.
Right.
As the scriptures tell, you know, that Bible has everything in it. It tells all the things. It's what you need to understand life.
Right.
You know, to understand life, you have to go to the book of the law. If you're a black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, that book was only written for us, man.
Right. That's right. Right.
You know, we're afflicted with these pains.
Man. That's right, man. And you know what? That goes on to this day. Nothing has changed. We're still living in the same condition. We're still living in the same slavery as we have. It's just changed a little. They've made a change in a way where you don't think you're slaving, but you still in that condition. Once again, like I say all the time, oh man, you know, I work at this corporation, I'm getting paid good compared to who you're slave, compared to your brother that's working at McDonald's, once again, or compared to your brother who doesn't have a job. I'm living good compared to who? Compared to your brother that's living in a tent, or that rents a one-bedroom house with all his kids. You know what I'm saying? Compared to who are you doing better? Because the white man has houses everywhere. They have homes in Mexico. They have territories in other countries. They live everywhere. The American dollar is used on every single continent. Your money from Mexico is only used in Mexico, or your money from El Salvador is only used in El Salvador, and so on and so forth. All other countries, they can only use their money in their country. Yet the Americans, they can use their money anywhere they go. So in comparison to who is your nation living better than, or how are you doing better? Because you know what? It's not about you. It's about a nation of people that are being oppressed at this very time.
Damn right. You know, just today I went for an interview for a job. I have over 13 years experience in this field. And they tried to give me $1 after the minimum wage.
Right.
And you know what the kicker was? It was an Israelite that pressed that point.
Right.
There was a Moabite, who was a Chinese woman. She was like, go and give him, you see what he made before. Give him, you know, close enough to what he made before. But the Israelite, you know, our brothers, you know, he was like, no, let's give him $1 after the minimum wage. Been in the field 13 years, man. See, that's why, you know, the white man's the devil, because he influenced that brother to do that type, to make that thing, to make that, you know, those terms, to be that way towards his own brother. You know?
Right.
And, you know, I'm sitting on in the interview, we getting along, it's going very well. You know, the whole crew, I had to go there twice today, the second interview. And here it is, you're going to hand me pennies.
Right.
You know, and that's what it's worth, you know. The brother had no compassion. A lot of us in Israel don't have no compassion for our nation.
Right, for our own people.
Compassion for our people.
That's
but
right.
ISUPK do. We out on the street corners risking our life for you.
Right.
We're on the corner doing and keeping that camp.
That's right. And you know what? It's true, man. The worst enemy that Israel can have is Israel themselves. We hate our own people. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people say, oh, you know, Mexicans hate blacks. Let me tell you something. Mexicans hate Salvadoranians. Mexicans hate people from Central America. People from Honduras hate people from El Salvador. We hate our own people. We're our worst enemy. We're the ones spreading hate between our own selves. You know, I seen a brother post that, you know, oh man, Mexicans hate blacks and blacks hate Mexicans. No, man, you know what? We hate each other. We're our worst enemies. That's why we can't get ahead in some places, because the first person that comes against you is your own people. That's why it's important to come into the ISUPK and understand that, you know, we are one nation, we are one people. And you know, we're here to bring our people out of that mindset of hating each other. And the hate that we feel is nothing new. This has been instilled in us through our enemies to learn how to hate each other. They've made that. This is propaganda that's been going on since the early 1800s, according to my historical records and how it's been instilled in us. In the book Open Veins of Latin America, I did a reading where it's showing how the corporations learn how to pit against each other. This has been the beginning of hate for each other. And here in California, the Open Veins, what I mentioned last week, I did a reading where it's showing how the murders of those young Chicano kids in the 1930s, where they started pitting neighborhoods against neighborhoods. The police killed that kid and then pinned it on another Mexican group, because they were young Chicano kids in the 1930s. Lagoons started pitting. Yeah, the story of the Sleeping Lagoons here in City Commerce here in LA. You know, the young man got killed, and what did the police do? Blame another Mexican group. Not knowing that all we were doing was the party was going and disappearing people and partying. You know, fights break out between us. You know, how do we handle it? Man to man. You know, you're gonna deck it out with your brother, and you know what? Let's go. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But for us to have a hate that's perpetual, that's for us, that's nonsense. We have to learn how to put that to the side and teach our Mexican brothers that, you know what? Some of those black brothers that are out there beating up Mexicans, man, because they have no idea. They are not in the truth. Some of those Mexicans going out and beating black kids, man, because they have no idea. They are not in the truth. When we come into the truth, then you know what? It's a whole different story. When we come into the truth, we begin to understand and begin to grasp the idea of hatred has been instilled to us by a method of madness caused by our own enemy in a manner to further oppress us against each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's important to learn these things, and it's important to come to this truth, and it's important to understand that in a manner, you know, we cannot allow this against each. We have to understand that, you know what, brothers that did this to me, they just, you know, they're not the understand. You know, and furthermore, man, to really understand this, you have to understand that if a brother comes up to you, you have to be brother. Understand that, you know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna go out there and fight like we used to. We ain't gonna go out there and be like, oh, this brother's mad dog to me. Really, that's the old you. Once again, like we said at the beginning of the show, we have to learn how to leave our old self behind. We ain't gonna go out there and bring our new self in. We have to learn how to change ourselves and not be those people that we used to be. Now brothers come up to you and they talk madness. Brother, you know what? This is a whole different me today. You know, now what am I gonna come back at you with? I'm gonna come back at you. You know what? And Most High in Christ has put me in this position. Now for me, instead of fighting with my brothers, learn how to bring our brothers in, because that's what it's about. That hate that's been instilled in us throughout every century, and we're the ones that's gonna break that chain. We're gonna find ways to change that and make that difference, because that is our struggle that we have to go through. Just the way you're struggling to stop smoking weed, just the way you're struggling to stop going out and getting drunk as hell and passing out, this is a new struggle, man. And the new struggle is how to talk to my brothers in a way where we can diffuse situations and that these brothers can understand going out and getting that person. If you see that person, of course that's going to happen. And the new struggle is how to talk to still that brother that where we can diffuse situations and that these brothers can understand going out and getting that person. If you see that person, of course that's going to happen. And the new struggle is how to talk to still that brother.
The sins of even the tribe of Judah are very heavy, man. We're a very wicked, like I said, very wicked nation, tribe of the Israelites, man. The way we do each other.
Right.
You know, we do each other foul, and everybody knows it. It's not no uncommon thing. You know what happened with me today. It's on all different levels in the same way. In higher corporations, lower corporations, in the fast food service, we just, you know, they had a saying called crabs in a bucket. We try to pull each other down, pull each other down. You know, these were the wicked men. These were the wicked men. You got that up? Go ahead and read.
Jeremiah 17, verse 21. Thus saith the Lord, take heed to yourselves, and bear no burden on the Sabbath day, nor bring it in by the gates of Jerusalem.
You saw that 17 and 21? Jeremiah? Okay, that's probably that's wrong scripture. Let me get the Maccabees then. Let me get First Maccabees 2 and 23. You know, they were very wicked men in Judah, man. You know, we were talking about who, Mayweather?
Right.
Mayweather did a whole lot of things, you know, and this happened in ancient times. Mayweather's given into Sodom and Gomorrah. Mayweather's given into how you say it, Babylon.
Right.
Mayweather's given into ancient Egypt.
Right.
You know, he doesn't even know it, but that's what he's given to, because he went and embraced this nation, and he did not embrace his people. You understand? You got the Maccabees?
First Maccabees 23.
21.
21. Come. First Maccabees chapter 2, verse 21. God forbid that we should forsake the law and the ordinances.
See, so they didn't want to Maccabees. He didn't want to forsake God's laws. He knew that the law, statutes, and commandments is what God requires of us, requires of the men of Israel. Read.
Verse 22. We will not hearken to the king's words.
So they didn't want to listen to the king. It was Antiochus. They didn't want to listen to his words and his decree, just like the other king, King Ahasuerus in Esther. You know, King Ahasuerus wanted everybody to bow down to him. And when they saw Mordecai, and Mordecai did not bow unto it, the two servants of King Ahasuerus said, why aren't you bowing down to the king? Ahasuerus said, I'm a Jew. I do not bow down to no one but the Most High in Christ.
Right.
Understand me? And this is the same thing in the Maccabees. Read.
To go for a religion, either on the right hand or the left.
He said to go from our religion, from the right hand or the left. You know, so this is what Maccabees is saying. He doesn't want to. He said he's not going either way. He's not going to wait left or right. Same thing that Joshua did too. They told Joshua was commanded to go forward with courage and don't look left or right. And he went and conquered many African nations, many the Edomite nations. He conquered these nations and went into the land of Canaan like the Most High commanded him to do. So this here is Maccabees, and he said we're not going to go from our religion, go from the left or right. Okay? So in other words, he's not listening to this king. He's not going to go from any other ways but what the Most High says what he's to do. Read.
Verse 23. Now, when he had left speaking these words, there came one of the Jews in the sight of all the sacrifice on the altar.
One of the who?
Jews in the sight of all the sacrifice on the altar.
He was a heathen. What was he?
Jews in the sight of all to sacrifice on the altar.
So this altar was put up when they pulled down the altar of God in the temple. And they were in there speaking to Maccabees, trying to get him, the king's soldiers or whatever, his officers were trying to get him to influence the Jews to go their way and be one people under one law, one religion under the king, who was a heathen. And now, when Maccabees said, no, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go left or right, as we read, a Jew, one of the chosen tribes, went up to the altar. And what did he do? Go ahead.
Continue. Oh, Salaki. To sacrifice on the altar, which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment.
According to who?
King's commandment.
Was it God's commandment?
To the king's commandment.
Was it Christ's commandment?
King's commandment.
According to the king's commandment. Right. The one that actually pulled it down and said, we're not going to go, you're not going to do your laws here anymore. We don't care if you're from Jerusalem. We don't care if you're under the Most High God. You're going to follow the king's commandment. And this sellout, like your Mayweather, went up there and did what? Read that one more time. Just the bottom part. Modin.
To sacrifice on the altar which was at Modin, according to the king's commandment.
Read.
Verse 24. Which thing, when Mattathias saw, he was inflamed with zeal.
Mattathias was inflamed with zeal. He was inflamed, man. He was like, man, look, this sellout right here is selling us out and getting up here and putting something on the altar for the king. Right? That inflamed Mattathias, man. That's why he's written down in these Maccabees, man, for that kind of zeal. And that kind of zeal, you only gonna on the earth, you're only gonna find it in the ISUPK.
That's right.
Period.
That's right.
In his reins trembled, neither could he forbear to show his anger according to judgment.
So he was shaking in his reins, man. He was shaking, man. He couldn't hold his peace. Right. He couldn't hold his peace on that one. And that was a good reason not to hold your peace. Right. When you see your brother selling your nation out. Right. And sinning right before the king and in front of everyone. When they coming to you trying to get you to do it along with your sons. Because not only was Mattathias there, his sons was there looking at their father. What is the father going to do? Because the son is looking at the father. What is dad going to do? Mattathias chose to serve the Lord. Read.
Right. Wherefore he ran and slew him upon the altar.
No, he hugged him like a Christian. What did he do?
Slew him upon the altar.
No, he kissed him like a Christian. Right. What did he do?
Slew him upon the altar.
God loves everybody. What did he do?
Slew him upon the altar.
That's why that Christian church is so wicked too. You know, that Christian church tells you every time somebody's coming back to hug you and kiss you and say it's okay because you sinned, you fell down, you got back up, you fell back down, you got back up, you fell back down. What, you want a seesaw or something? You know, what, you want to swing back and forth from righteousness to evil, to righteousness to evil, to righteousness to evil? No. Mattathias wasn't taking it, and the Most High is not taking it. Most importantly, you know, he slew him upon the altar, right on that king's wicked altar that he had already established after he pulled down the original altar of David, because that was in the temple of David, wasn't it? That was in the temple of Jerusalem, and it was. I'm not even asking. It was. So they are wicked Israelites out there that are in this day their spirits were here before, and they're doing the same thing they did back then. Right. Worshiping on these altars, celebrating Christmas, celebrating Easter, right? You know, doing Thanksgiving, Mother's Day and Father's Day, all these different things, and thinking that there's nothing wrong with it. You know? Right. So that spirit is here. We in ISUPK, we're here to bring that down. We're here to bring that truth out. And we go against them like the Most High did, like Mattathias did back in the day. Right. Any more on that out?
I'm going to continue, sir?
Continue.
Verse 25. Also the king's commissioner who compelled man to sacrifice, he killed at that time.
So at the same time, these men of King Antiochus or whatever, he killed them too. He killed those officers and kings that had went with him to try to convince them to worship the king. Right. You know, instead of the Most High. Right.
You know, that's what we got to understand, that when you come into the truth, man, this is a whole new start. You know, this is a whole new start for everybody. You know, it's time that you start to understand that only here will you become a new person. And you'll become to see that, you know what, in the ISUPK, in the brotherhood, man, this is where you have to understand that we are no longer ourselves. We are people that are here to serve the Lord, and no longer to serve ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that people got to come to the understanding of that, because that's what's important. That's what, when you read a scripture, when you read a story in the Bible, no matter who it may be, you got to understand that the Lord is going to put everybody to a test. You know what I'm saying? You don't come in here unscathed. Not even when you come in, and not even when you're here. Even when you're here, man, you're going to be put to the test. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers are put to different types of tests, man. You never know what's going to come at you. You got to be ready. And how do you get ready? You get ready by taking, once again, like we said, taking orders, getting yourself ready, preparing yourself, leaving your old self behind, and putting on a new suit. You know what I'm saying? And this new suit is one of tolerance, one of knowledge and of service. That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? That's a good break. That's a good breakdown that you bring right there. You know, so
continue on that.
Go ahead.
Continue on that. Yeah.
Khan. Like it. And the altar he pulled down.
He did what?
And the altar he pulled down.
He pulled that altar down. That fake altar, he pulled it down out of the temple.
Right.
Because he said he was that zealous. Read 26.
Khan. Verse 26. Thus dealt he zealously for the law of the Most High.
He was lazy. He was what?
Zealously for the law of the Most High.
He was some type of grace period.
He was zealously for the law of the Most High.
He was zealous for that law.
Right.
He dealt zealously for that law. And the Most High saw this, and he blessed him and his sons. Read, continue.
Khan.
Wait, so drop down to 27.
Khan. Verse 27. And Matthias cried throughout the city with a loud voice, saying, whosoever is zealous of the law and maintaining the covenant, let him follow me.
Let him do what?
Let him follow me.
Matthias was a leader, man.
Right.
Just like we got camp leaders. Just like we have order in the ISUPK, from the generals down to the troopers, man, and the young men. We have order here, man. You follow these orders. He said, follow me. Matthias was that leader, because that king's officers and the king recognized that he was a leading man in Israel, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he stood for the law. He didn't waver. Not one piece, not 1 hour. Continue.
Verse 28. So he and his sons fled into the mountains.
He and who?
His sons fled into the mountains.
This is the man with his sons, and his sons is following him. So he said, follow me, and his sons did accordingly, man. Following orders. Read.
And left all that ever they had in the city.
They didn't care what belongings or possessions that they had. They left everything when they fled. You know, the Most High, they knew that Most High would provide for them. You know, they didn't care about that. They just cared about making sure that they kept these laws, because they feared the Most High, man. And that's what Matthias does. He feared the Most High. Read.
Verse 29. Then many that sought after justice and judgment went down into the wilderness to dwell there.
Is that it on that? I think that's it on that, sir. All right, and this goes into, you know, the wars that the Maccabees held, and all the things that he had done.
Right.
And he had great deeds in here, and his son Judas took over.
Right.
This is Matthias, and Chaazaq Matthias, but his son Judas, who was called Maccabees, picked up the same type of mission. He did the same thing that his father taught him to do.
A warrior.
He had a warrior. He had
That's
several
right.
sons.
A
and
warrior.
He won many battles.
That's right.
That's why you have, exactly. That's why you have First Maccabees and
That's
Second
right.
Maccabees.
That's right.
You know, this is with the Hasmonean dynasty.
That's right. Man, that's heavy. You know what I'm saying? Because the Bible is pointing out how, you know, that we warriors, man, you Black, Hispanic, you Native American, Indian, man, you built for this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have just forgotten that this is your lineage right here. This is where you come from. You know what I'm saying? Right. We all come from this right here. We all come from the line of warriors. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Because you know what? That's what the Lord made us. He made us warriors. He made us these people fearless, valiant men, right? And that's who we are, man. And I'm gonna take it back, you know, because you know my brother Chaazaq, he has a good point, and that's a good scripture because that brings me into our next topic. Because this thing about us being warriors and fearless, and you know the things that Mattathias went through, and Judah, Judas, you know what he went through, Maccabees, you know, and his children and his family, you know what I'm saying? That's the way that we all are. You just don't know it. You just lost a track of who you are, right? Give me a second here.
Okay, and while you're taking a second, I'll add and fill in. Let me get First Maccabees 14 and 9. First Maccabees chapter 14 and verse 9. You know, these are the things and deeds of our forefathers, man. We need to learn from the past.
Right.
You know, that's the thing everybody wants to just get rid of. They think that now and good and everything going forward, you know, the new jeans, skinny jeans, the this, the that, the twerking, the whatever, you know, all that's going to be good. But, you know, you need to learn where you came from so you know where you're going. If you don't know where you came from, you ain't going to know where you're going. You know? You got that up?
Khan.
Read.
This is First Maccabees 14, verse 9. The ancient men sat all in the streets, communing together of good things, and the young men put on glorious and warlike apparel.
And the young men did what?
Put on glorious and warlike apparel.
You know, I was watching, and it's funny, I was watching the Power Rangers the other night.
Right.
Last night, the Power Rangers, the movie. And I saw their garments, and now I see why they say that we look like that. Right. But what did the young men dress like?
Glorious and warlike apparel.
The apparel is glorious. Right. Christ wore this apparel. He had a garment from the head to the foot, girt about the paps, which was his waist. He had a war belt, man. They wore glorious and warlike apparel.
Right.
Not piece of pimp-looking pastor pimp suits.
Right.
They wore glorious warlike apparel, and you're only going to see this in UPK.
That's
right.
Even if you see it somewhere else, UPK started this, man. We go to the scriptures, and we act accordingly. From the scriptures, we follow these things. Christ had a war belt on, man. When I was in the Marine Corps, we had a war belt in Esau's army. We even have a war belt in Esau's army. We used to attach our canteens, our ammo pouches would carry bullets, you know, our ponchos and all these other things, and our moonbeams, which is your flashlights. We put it in, we strap those things to our waists, which is your paps in the Bible. They call your waist your paps. That's what we wore, and it was called a war belt. Christ had a golden girdle, which is girt about the paps, which is the waist, man. Right. He was a warrior, a revolutionary, man. You know, this is not no joke, man. This is what we for. You know, this is about blood, life, and death, man. Right. Urgency, man. Come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Man. Right. These laws, statutes, and commandments gonna save your life, man. Right. You know, the young men wore warlike apparel that was glorious. That's an adjective, glorious. Why did they put that adjective there? Because it was glorious. Right. You understand me? And the young men did that, man. You know, and UPK, when we in camp, when we wearing our garments, man, we don't give a damn if you're laughing, man. Right. The Most High is laughing at you because he's gonna slay you.
That's right.
He knows who the 144 is gonna be. We're raising that 144. That's Christ's army, man. Right. 144,000 of each tribe, 12,000 of each tribe, right? That's going to be the new governing rule of Israel. The new governing body, just like you see your senators and your Republicans and your Democrats, we're going to have the ISUPK. Right. The 144, man. Damn right. More like apparel. Let me get Exodus 15 and 3, man. Exodus 15 and 3.
Right. And let me tell you something. What we're going through right now. So I'm about to change the subject a little bit, but it still goes on to what we're doing right here. We're warriors, man. And I'm gonna bring out a little bit of how Issacharites, because I want to bring my Issacharite brothers more into this truth and understanding, because together we become a power that's unmatched to anybody else, man. When you get Issachar and Judah together, man, that's like that's a power that you got to reckon with, as I always say, because that's something that you really got to think about, how powerful we can be together as a people. You got that already? Go ahead and read it.
It's Exodus 15, verse 3. The Most High is a man of war.
So the Most High is a man of war. Let me tell you something. We are men of war. Issachar are men of war. Judah, we're men of war. Right. Man, you know how you know we're men of war? Because we go in the ring fearlessly all the time. We're ready to throw down no matter what. You know what I'm saying? We are men of war. And you know what? Sometimes we get the bad end, sometimes we get the good end, but we always come back. And we're not the type to coward, right? That's why the ISUPK says no cowards. Man, we're gonna go through what we're gonna go through, and we're gonna stay tight on it. We're gonna come back. As long as you come back to fight another day, you're good to go.
Damn right. You ready to regroup and get out there again and do what you have to do. You got to fight all these battles.
Right.
You do have to fight these battles to win that war.
Right.
And we're gonna win that war because it's already prophesied that we're gonna win this war, man.
Right.
But what you're gonna do to make your make your election sure.
That's right. That's right.
Says make your election sure, man.
Right.
Go out and be in camp. Keep these high holy days. Serve your brothers, man. Be there for the poor and the needy. Start teaching classes. Become a priest up in here, man. Stand next to us on that wooden pulpit, man, and let's get busy on this white man.
Right, right. Give me First Chronicles 7, 7 and 1, and we're gonna go into how we know that we've been speaking about Judah, right? We've been speaking about Judah. We've been seeing how Judah, these are warriors, man. These are people that are of war. These are men that have gone out and fought battles. But Issachar, the Mexicans, man, we the same way. We these people of war. You know what I'm saying? We're these people that are ready to go out. Man, we die with pride. You know what I'm saying? Hey, our country has not been in revolution for 500 years for nothing. We haven't given up. We raise our children to be like that. The problem is that living in America, we've been trying to be a nation that we're not. We've been trying to embrace a culture that's a weak culture and that has taken the strength from us. Our children are growing up to be completely different than what we should be. That's why you come into this truth, man. You begin to once again embrace that culture that you're from, which is Israel, which is a nation of warriors. You got that? Go ahead. Let's see what Issachar is like. And I'm going to show you how, we hear a lot about, the Mexica, the Mexica, the Mexican, Mexico gets its name from the Mexica, a tribe of nomads that were the last tribe to come from the so-called 7 caves, the history of all Latin America, the 7 caves, and the last tribe to come out of there. And we're going to see how this whole thing of the Mexica being the chosen people or the people of the Messiah is not really what it's turned out to be. And we're going to see how our true people are warriors. We did not sacrifice our people. We did not, do that. We were a strict a race of people, a strict culture that was very in tune to our ancestors. Shalom Adan Gomez, Yahweh Bashim Yeshabrakatah. You go ahead and read that.
This is First Chronicles.
First Chronicles
7 and 1.
Chapter 7, verse 1. Read.
Now the sons of Yashakar.
Now the sons of Yashakar. Yashakar are all the Mexicans. That's who we are. We're the ones who have dominated Mexico. We've dominated a lot of places. Man, we dominated America. We were here. We're still here. We're always here. You know what I'm saying? We're everywhere. We're in your kitchen. We're in your yard. We're on your rooftop. We're building your house. We're cleaning your goddamn bathroom. We're everywhere. Continue reading.
Now the sons of Yashakar were Tola.
So Tola is the real word. Tola. Tola is the son, the first son of Issachar. Now, when the first is born, who receives all the inheritance? The firstborn receives inheritance. Who is the one who leads everybody? The firstborn leads everybody. So you got to understand that Tola was the firstborn of Issachar. This is a mighty man. This is the man who was going to receive everything. Continue reading.
Tola and Puah, Joshua and Shimron, 4.
And so there was 4 sons. The main son was Tola. Let's see what Tola, what's the difference and how important it is to understand who Tola is. Because the myth that the Mashika were the chosen people, and this thing that's going around that Mashika means Messiah, I'm about to bury that. Continue reading.
Verse 2. And the sons of Tola.
So these are the sons of Tola. Continue reading.
Uzi and Raphael and Jeriah and Jamal and Jimson and Shemuel, heads of their father's house.
So the heads of the father's house. Who's the head of the house? Tola. This is the house. Tola's house is the main house. Uzai, Raphael, Jeriah, Jamiah, and Jibsam, and Shamuel. These are the heads of who? Of Tola's house. Tola, this is the main person of the descendants of Issachar. This man was a very important man in the Bible, in the book of Chronicles. Continue reading.
To wit of Tola.
To what?
To wit of Tola.
To the wit of Tola. Once again, the honor goes to Tola. Read.
They were valiant men of might.
They were what?
Valiant men of might.
We are valiant men of might. Tola's sons, the descendants of Tola, Tola himself, are valiant men of might. Continue reading.
Valiant men of might in their generations.
In their generations, man, in all their generations, including all of us here today. We're still, man, let me tell you, the generation of and I'm going to include the Aztecs because I'm not trying to put them down for any reason. I'm just going to show you where this goes to. Aztecs, the revolution, the Hermanos Magón, Emiliano Zapata, all these people that raised the revolution in Mexico were all the soldiers and the women that went and fought for the freedom of Mexico and the freedom of their people. These are all valiant men who died in the field to save their country, to save their people, to keep their freedom. Continue reading.
Whose number was in the days of David.
In the days of who?
Of David.
Of King David. You know who we serve? We serve King David. We understood that the blacks, so-called blacks, all the descendants of David, man, we honored these people. We served this man. We served King David. Dawada. That's who our king was, and we understood it. Continue reading.
Right. 220,600.
We are many men. We are all these men. Continue reading.
Verse 3. And the sons of Uzi.
Of Uzi. Next generation of Tola. Continue reading. These are the grandsons. Continue reading.
Israel. And the sons of Israel. Michael and Obadiah and Joel. Isaiah.
And these are 5 of them. Continue reading.
5. All of them chief men.
All of them chief men. The descendants of Tola, his grandchildren, Uzziah, Azariah, the sons of Azariah, Michael, Obadiah, these are all chief men. These are men who had rank in all of Israel, in all of Issachar. They continue having this rank. Continue reading.
And their brethren among all the families of Yashukar.
Wait a minute. You missed one. 7:4.
Verse 4. And with them by their generations.
Now, and with them, listen, this is already a third generation, and they're saying, and with them by their generation, still going on. Continue reading.
After the house of their fathers.
After the house of their fathers, after the house of Uzziah, after the house of Tola, after the house of Issachar. Continue reading.
Were bands of soldiers of the war of Issachar.
Wait a minute.
Were bands of soldiers for war.
These were bands of soldiers for war. Issachar, his son, his grandson, this is his great grandson, every single generation, by their generation, still going on. Continue reading.
Were bands of soldiers for war.
We were bands of soldiers for war. Emiliano Zapata was a band of a soldier for war. The Aztec kingdoms were bands of soldiers for war. The Chicano movement, we were bands of soldiers for war. We have had war for always, man. We have always been warriors. Issachar, man, we've always been throughout all our generations warriors. Every single boxer that goes on the ring that's with Mexican blood, we warriors, man. Why? Because the Bible says so throughout all our generations. Continue reading. Emiliano Zapata was a band of a soldier for war.
630,000 men.
Soldiers for war.
For they had many wives and sons.
There we go. Us Mexicans, us Israelites, we had many wives. We didn't have one wife. We had many wives. And how many sons? We had many sons. We could not have one single wife. We had different wives because what was important to us? Having sons, having generations. Let me tell you something. Pancho Villa didn't have one wife. Emiliano Zapata didn't have one wife. The revolutionaries that were out there didn't have one wife. They had many wives. Why? Because we had many sons. When the Spaniards came to Mexico and saw the Aztecs, they had said they had never seen so many people in such a little space anywhere in Europe. We had more people in Mexico, in Tenochtitlan, than any city in Europe had ever seen. Continue reading.
We had different wives and their brethren from all the families of Issachar.
And their brothers, all the brothers among the families of Issachar. Continue reading.
Were valiant.
They had
men of might.
Were what? We had
valiant men of might.
Keep reading.
Reckoned in all by the generation.
So many people in such a little space.
Reckoned in all by genealogy.
Man, let me tell you something. The brother among the family of Issachar, every single Issacharite, every single descendant of Issachar were valiant men of might. All you Issachars out there, all you Issacharites out there, man, we are valiant men of might, reckoned in all by their generations. That means every single generation that comes out, we should understand that we are men of might. And let me tell you something, people from El Salvador, all you people who are Zebulon, brother, and Salvador, man, let me tell you something, you are men of might, because you are of the same family that Issachar. Men, we are all the same family, and we are all men of might. Now let's see what Tola was in history, because we keep thinking that Issachar are the Aztecs, and that they're the ones that are the ones, right? So let's go into 1 Chronicles chapter 32. I'm going to break down who the real descendants of Issachar, who's the real royalty. Aztecs are also, I'm not taking anything from them once again, but I'm about to break down where we separate and where our real same family, where our real men seed is at. Okay? So go ahead and read that. Was in because we keep thinking that
chapter 12, verse 17,
and they're the ones that are
and David went out to meet them and answered and said unto them,
I'm going to break
and he become
descendants of Issachar, who's the real royalty. Aztecs are also, I'm not taking anything from them once again, but I'm about to break down where we separate and where our
First Chronicles chapter 12, verse 32.
seed is at.
And of the children of Issachar.
The children of who?
Issachar.
Children of Issachar.
12:32.
Which were named that had understanding of the times.
Had understanding of the times. So let me tell you something. Civilization, a group of people that had the understanding of times. So where do we get? Where is Torah at? What happened to Torah? What happened to this man who sprung out generations